Very much. Her Excellency, my brothers and sisters all, I'm privileged and humbled to be here on behalf of the National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Education, which is America's only membership and advocacy association of all of the richly diverse, historically Black colleges and universities, 106 of them, and 50 predominantly Black institutions. I'm here to say unequivocally and humbly to Brother Kwame that we excitedly and wholeheartedly look forward to joining the HBCU the HBCU homecoming movement. So thank you so very much. I greet you in the spirit of Ubuntu, my brothers and sisters. Ubuntu, which means roughly that I am because you are, that we are inextricably interconnected and interdependent. It goes back to what Her Excellency was talking about, one voice, one continent, one people. It talks about humanity and the spirit of coming together to have our collective voices heard with respect and love. We come in the spirit of Ubuntu, and we excitedly come to join in this effort. We come out of the same history as our brothers and sisters on the continent of people trying to repress and keep us down, and for many years success. But we come having been given the opening of creating an education, what became an education system in America that has yielded African Americans that are today That's better? I'm sorry. This what became an education system of richly diverse, historically Black colleges and universities that have yielded African ancestors, brothers and sisters here in America that have skills and sensitivities and sensibilities, energies and passions, and never divorced ourselves from brothers and sisters on the continent. And for years, as Brother Kwame pointed out, he talked about the number of African leaders that were educated in historically Black colleges and universities, but that continues today with virtually every HBCU having richly diverse students, not only African-ancestored persons from America, but Africans from the continent and the Americas. And so I'd like to talk just briefly about some of what HBCUs have that have well positioned us here in America, but will well position us to lead in partnership with the African Union and with everyone who is committed to bringing together our collective resources so that we can increase our education, increase wealth, increase liberation and justice that will move African-ancestored people together as one. So HBCU of American colleges and universities. But today, these universities that you hear about, and you mostly hear about them as being poor, struggling, and in tremendous need, and many of the institutions, because of the history of exclusion and degradation and segregation and discrimination, are certainly not receiving dollars that are consistent with their output. But this 4% of colleges and universities in America that have 1/8 the size of the endowments of the majority endowments in America, are yielding tremendous results. 42% of African American and African ancestred engineers in America are trained in HBCUs. 60% of African ancestred health professionals in America are trained in HBCUs. 60% of African ancestred public school teaching professionals in America trained in HBCUs. Increasing numbers of entrepreneurs trained in HBCUs, and HBCUs on average or collectively yield about $15 billion in short-term income. $15 billion HBCU income. And so what that means roughly, and they employ 177,000 full-time faculty. If you look at the Bank of America, that was the 23rd largest corporation in America, they had 188,000 full-time employees. And so we have a base in the community. Beyond that, I'm sorry, my time is up, but let me just say this. So the data are compelling. We come with rich resources that we will bring to the table, and we're interested in being a full partner in any way that we can serve. But we do want to focus specifically on 5 areas where we think that there's commonality. And I have to say this, so don't count this against me, because this goes to Her Excellency. When you talk about, and when we hear you, we all stand a little taller. We are inspired and prouder as African-ancested people, but as women. And so what Brother Boateng didn't tell you, that 400 years ago when Africans arrived on the shores of America at Jamestown, it was a sister named Angela, who was the first person to put her foot on American soil. And so when Sister, Her Excellency Arikana stands and speaks for African people worldwide, and Sister Angela was the first person here, we know that women will play a special role in whatever effort that we have. So there are 5 areas that we're particularly interested in, and I just want to talk about them. We're hoping that from our colleges and universities we'll have researchers and a range of other people that'll work on, number 1, education and training. We think that's vitally important, areas where we can work together and grow together. Employment, entrepreneurship, economic stimulation, both rural and urban, wealth creation. 3, health, infrastructure and environment. 4, STEM, science, technology, engineering, the arts or agriculture and math. And 5, peace and justice. These are areas where we have strong footage, and with our brothers and sisters and our natural resources on the continent driven by technology, I know that at the end of the convenings, we will have a blueprint that will enable us to go back to our respective areas, but remain connected and move Africans worldwide to becoming one people, one voice, one nation, indivisible. Ubuntu, my brothers and sisters.
So that defines the framework for our path forward. Starting with this launch today, and the first HBCU Africa Homecoming in Ghana, August 1st through the 10th. And at that event, we're going to lay out the groundwork. We also have the endorsement of the Director of Diaspora Relations at the Office of the Ghanaian President. We're looking at an HBCU marching band participating in the 6th March Independence Parade in Ghana in 2020. So the question is, which one will it be? Anyone here want to vouch for one? All right, so we're going to provide a platform so that we collaboratively come up with that decision. How about that for democracy?
That's right.
So without much ado, I would want to invite you all, particularly this group I call the Pioneering Group, to Ghana from August 1st to 10th, where we join hands with other HBCU alums in Africa. Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania. We're going to meet and together envision what we want the next 400 years to look like. So the time is short. We would like to see boards of trustees. We would like to see presidents. We would like to see alumni association presidents, various stakeholders joining us, and we'll be sending more information on that. Thank you very much for your attention.